Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name's Christian from Kompete, and I'm joined by Grace and Danny from Oracle NetSuite. Grace, did you want to say hello?
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Christian. Thanks for having me on the webinar. Excited to get started.
Me too. Danny, how about you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks. Looking forward to the demo.
Good to hear. We have a few more people logging in as we speak, but we are going to get started. Bear with me 1 second. I will share my screen, and then we will get going. Thank you again for joining us. This is Christian from Kompete, and welcome to our webinar on the future of financial software. As I mentioned, I'm joined today by Grace and Danny from Oracle NetSuite. This webinar is aimed at small and mid-sized businesses that are limited by basic accounting software or even legacy offline systems like Excel and Word documents. Today, we're going to cover the benefits of a true enterprise solution that allows you to better manage and analyze your business. We're going to provide you a brief demo of Oracle NetSuite, and then we're going to discuss how you can quantify your business benefits, including calculating your return on investment. First, welcome to the session. We're focused today on the changing needs of small and mid-sized businesses and how next-generation software like Oracle NetSuite can help accelerate your growth. We're going to cover the benefits of upgrading from basic financial software or legacy systems. We're going to go into some detail on the features, including the business management features available on next-generation platforms like Oracle NetSuite. And then we're going to provide an overview of Oracle NetSuite itself before discussing how you can go ahead and get started with an implementation. Just one more housekeeping point before we begin. There will be a question and answer session after the main presentation, but you can ask questions at any time using the panel to the right on the GoToWebinar interface. But all lines will be on mute during and after the session. Please be aware there will be a survey at the end, and we'll also give you the opportunity to take advantage of a special offer from Kompete. We have an experienced team presenting to you today and also available for questions and answers after the main session. My name is Christian, and I have over 20 years of experience in web, mobile, and marketing technologies. I've worked with some of the biggest, most respected brands in the world, deploying innovative programs to improve the customer experience and operational excellence. Grace is a regional sales manager at Oracle. She's been with NetSuite for 5 years in a variety of sales roles, and she's now responsible for supporting partners and their customers as they identify the optimal Oracle NetSuite solution. Danny is a solution consultant at Oracle who specializes in a variety of product-based industries, helping customers identify the right solution architecture on the Oracle NetSuite platform. Danny has experience in a wide range of industries, including food service and restaurants, medical devices, and retail, with a key focus on finance and operations. This webinar is co-presented by Kompete and Oracle NetSuite. Kompete is a part of the core competence family of companies, your total technology partner. With over 17 years in business, serving 200 plus clients, Kompete specializes in Oracle NetSuite, offering small and mid-sized businesses access to next-generation software. We help our customers gain competitive advantage by maximizing their return on investment on Oracle NetSuite, solving business challenges, accelerating operations, and generating insights. NetSuite is a cloud-based business management software from Oracle that is designed to address the entire business from front-end sales and marketing to back-end financials. NetSuite has experienced record growth since its founding in 1998 and currently has over 26,000 customers across a wide variety of industries. Businesses today are powered by technology. If technology is slow and outdated, your business suffers as a result. This suffering comes in the form of lost customers, lost revenue, reductions in profit margins, unhappy employees, and a general inability to keep pace with your competition. Modern cloud-based software can change all that by giving you powerful tools to unlock your true potential. Organize your work streams, manage your processes, automate key activities, and report on the results, all in real time. Small and mid-sized businesses tend to be focused on their finances for obvious reasons. Cash flow, payroll, rent, invoices, and more are all critical to keeping your business in business. But traditional accounting software and other legacy systems only tell you a small part of the story. There's a mountain of activity underlying your financial data, and in many ways, it's just as important. In fact, the financial data can be seen as a product of everything that's happening below the numbers. Your sales, your marketing, how they impact your orders and inventory, how you service your customers, manage your people and projects, and all of the many supporting processes that go into your day-to-day operations. These and more don't appear directly on any financial statement, but losing sight of them or struggling with inefficient processes, systems, and tools will have a negative, if not completely catastrophic, impact on your business. Everyone knows that their employees need Microsoft Office or G Suite if you prefer. Your company can't function at all without email and messaging software, the ability to create documents, spreadsheets, and presentations, sharing them and collaborating with coworkers and customers. But the basics aren't enough to remain competitive in today's fast-moving, ever-changing business landscape. The companies that also leverage modern software to manage their accounting and forecasting, projects and processes, sales and marketing, complete customer data, and their orders and inventory have been proven to be much more successful. This was true before the pandemic, and it's even more true afterwards with the combination of remote work, rapidly changing business conditions, and uncertainty, making it more important than ever to manage as much of your business as possible using technology. Technology is about more than your operations and finances too. It means a better way to service your customers and prospects, making it faster and more efficient, and with a better overall experience that ultimately results in more loyal customers, repeat buyers, and a higher conversion rate for new business. This study by Forbes is one of many we could cite. The truth is, a relentless focus on your customers and their experience dealing with your business, powered by modern software, will make you much more profitable. You will generate more revenue, and the more you invest in these areas, the more you have to gain. Businesses that aren't growing as fast as they would like, or are merely treading water, or perhaps even falling behind, always tend to ask themselves, why are we not growing as quickly and efficiently as we believe we should? Why are we struggling so much? The answer is going to be unique to each market, but there are a few things we can say for sure. Businesses with outdated or underperforming software tend to have a lot of blind spots. Things you might be aware of unconsciously or subjectively, but that exist outside your ability to measure them accurately and take the appropriate corrective action. These are things like the efficiency of your processes and the productivity of your employees. Of course, all businesses are also subject to outside forces completely beyond their control. We've seen more economic change in the past 2 years than most of us have seen in our entire lifetimes. But there are also potential issues with the government, both in the US and internationally, that can negatively affect your business. Lastly, there are inflection points, things that might be anticipated, but that will require some radical changes in how you operate, sell, and market. The rise of the web was one such major shift. The rise of mobile, another. Now, businesses are faced with new platforms, virtualized workforces, and an emphasis on social responsibility and more. The question you need to ask yourself is your software able to keep up? Before you answer that question, let me give you a simpler, more focused one. Does your business software do this or anything close to it? This is just one process out of dozens or hundreds as part of your daily operations. Taking a sales order from a customer and fulfilling it. It's a critical aspect of most businesses, one that might even be taken for granted if orders are being shipped without complaint. But is that really the best that you can do? Is that good enough for your company or your customers? Modern business software maps and manages the entire process with automation and validation at every step of the way, from picking to shipping, and complete analytics on the results. Where are you losing time? Where are you making mistakes? Where can you improve efficiency and save money? Robust processes backed by powerful analytics can answer those questions and more. What you see on the screen now is just a sample dashboard, consolidating the most important aspects of your business into a single pane of glass. The health of your business at one glance. It's even more than that though. Powerful notifications and task management also help ensure you stay on track. Don't miss key deadlines. Get your work done on time and keep your business moving. Plus, you can always dig in for more detail, enabling you to fully understand exactly what's happening on the ground. Every business is unique, facing barriers specific to your industry, your size, your market position, even your history as a company. As the economy recovers from the pandemic and we move into a brand new world of opportunity and also challenges, it's time to ask yourself, what is standing in your way from taking advantage of all the benefits of modern software? Is it money? Do you simply not have the resources to invest? Is it a lack of desire? Something you know you need to do, but you're dreading actually doing, as change can of course be disruptive. Time. You're just too busy running the show right now. Resources to get the job done, or even a lack of commitment among those resources and your leadership. You need to identify what's holding you back and then ask yourself, is this a real reason or just an excuse when the future of your business itself might be at stake? Thank you all for listening. At this point, I'm going to hand it over to Grace, who's going to dive into the features that support this kind of functionality in a lot more detail.
Thanks, Christian. Now I'm going to provide a little background on NetSuite. So at this point, you may have recognized some of the barriers to growth that Christian just mentioned in your own business, but you might have some reservations about looking for a new system. You might be concerned that the latest technology is too expensive, too time-consuming to implement, and too difficult to use. We understand those concerns, and we've heard them many times before. But we're here to tell you that the right tools are available, and they also have proven value. Now we're going to take a look at some of the specifics, and then we'll give you a sneak peek at the technology in action. Earlier, we spoke about barriers and bottlenecks you might be facing. Now we want to look ahead and consider what's critical to the success and growth of your business: visibility, velocity, and agility. At NetSuite, we like to say, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. Visibility into your customers, people, and processes, and how they impact your financials is essential to the business. Second, you need to be able to move fast and make informed decisions quickly so you do not become obsolete. Lastly, you need to accept that change is the only constant and be agile enough to easily adapt so you can better serve your customers, respond to the competition, and other business conditions. Visibility is about more than mere numbers on a spreadsheet. However detailed or however broadly they represent aspects of your business, in order to be actionable, they need to be visual. The metrics need to be compared to your KPIs to ensure you are performing optimally, and they need to be backed by reminders and notifications to keep pace. They also need to be tailored to your industry and delivered to the relevant stakeholders. Modern software like NetSuite combines all of these features and makes them easily accessible and customizable. We live in an ever-evolving world. This poll was taken before the pandemic, but if anything, it's even more true now. Business leaders were asked, what are the top barriers to managing shifting demands? And not surprisingly, they responded by saying they need to produce products and services at a competitive price point, build customer trust, adapt to changing preferences, be innovative, and ensure their customer feedback was incorporated into their next generation strategies. Modern software gives you the ability to address these barriers by providing greater insight into your customers' behaviors. With NetSuite's Customer 360, you can get an understanding of your customers' historic buying patterns and preferences so you can anticipate their needs. This enables you to stay relevant to your customer and maintain the velocity to outpace the pace of change. We can think of agility as intelligent adaptability. Not only can your business change, but you can ensure it's changing in the right direction, whatever strategy you're pursuing. With a scalable cloud-based solution like NetSuite, you can address all of your business needs today and feel confident that it has the functionality to support you in the future. Maybe this future growth looks like a new service line, but you're not precisely sure what that looks like. NetSuite's analytic tools can help you understand the impact and forecast for your success. Or maybe you want to sell online or in new markets. E-commerce and international versions can ensure you will succeed. These are just a few of the many business operations that NetSuite can automate so you can future-proof your business. Whatever you need to accomplish, the important thing is to pick a platform that you can grow with. NetSuite is designed to be the one application you need to run your entire business off of, including financials, sales, marketing, e-commerce, and warehouse management. In addition to core ERP, NetSuite has industry-specific functionality and comes in a variety of packages for major verticals with the ability to customize further for your unique needs. At the same time, every instance of NetSuite includes access to important features like KPIs, dashboards, workflows, and more, so that you have insight into your business operations. Functionality is one thing, full-featured, powerful, and flexibility from the ground up is another. Your software needs to do a lot, yes, but it also needs to do it in the right way with the right security, data protection, availability, and upgradability. Another important thing to consider is how easily you can apply upgrades to take advantage of even more capabilities coming in future releases. NetSuite is upgraded twice annually, in addition to our Suite Cloud Developer Network, which are essentially extensions from certified providers to add additional functionality wherever you need it. The ability to meet the needs of your individual users and teams is also critically important. Your associates play different roles and have different needs. Oracle NetSuite enables each user to build and customize their own experience around their job description, providing instant access to the things that are most important to them. There are dozens of roles available out of the box, ensuring your CIO has access to everything they need for security and peace of mind. There are 2 roles to consider in supporting the system. The developer will help anytime there's new functionality or an important upgrade. The administrator will manage your users, build reports, implement configuration changes. This setup ensures success out of the gate and over time. Ultimately, we're talking about combining the doing and the data. On a modern software like NetSuite, your employees, customers, and partners work directly in the system. They place orders, manage contracts, deliver goods, service customers, sell, and more on the platform itself, guided by helpful workflows, notifications, triggers, and automation tools. This enables them to get more done faster and more efficiently, following a standard process, making it easier to onboard and retain staff, freeing up their time to focus on critical problem solving and creative thinking rather than focusing on their underlying IT or cumbersome manual processes. The ultimate goal is to connect every aspect of your business on a single platform to help you grow, solve business challenges, improve the customer and internal experience, and gain a competitive advantage. Whether your employees are in a store, the office, or on the road, they can access NetSuite anywhere they have an internet connection, enabling them to make more informed business decisions in real time. In addition to having access to your data in real time, NetSuite contains over 300 out-of-the-box reports and visualizations for you to choose from, covering almost every aspect of your business and then some. Plus, if you need more, custom reporting is available to meet your unique needs. Not only is NetSuite a powerful solution, but it's easier to implement than you would imagine and achievable for most businesses. Oracle NetSuite's combination of easy customization, plug-and-play modules for different industries, out-of-the-box reporting, and cloud-based configuration friendly architecture means that you can go live 60% faster than competing products. Faster translate into lower implementation costs, close to 20%. And both of these, of course, mean happier customers. A full 90% are immediately referenceable, and customer satisfaction levels are extremely high. So now that you have a brief kind of overview and background on what NetSuite is, I would like to pass the baton to my colleague, Danny Chen, who's going to run you guys through a quick NetSuite overview demo.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for joining me. Danny Chen here. I'll be walking through our topic of future to financial software. For today's demo, we will be covering a high-level overview of NetSuite and how users can gain visibility to the metrics they need in real time and automate processes by leveraging the power of the platform to help simplify and streamline their day-to-day tasks. So here I have the NetSuite instance pulled up. One of the things I always like to highlight first is the padlock symbol up here. A lot of the time folks, including myself, tend to overlook this, but what it means is that your connection to NetSuite is fully encrypted through a 128-bit encryption, so it's the same level of security as the top financial institution. So everything from security to cost is all managed by the NetSuite team. If we shift our focus over to the right-hand side, we can find our user, Ruby Soriano, who's the controller of NetSuite. So NetSuite as a role-based system will provide many roles out of the box for you. And some of the ones we can see from this drop down would be accountant, would be customer service, or even marketing manager. But what's important is that each of these roles will have a dashboard with KPIs and metrics that speaks to their day-to-day needs. So Ruby, who's again the controller, when she logs in first thing in the morning, some of the things that she will have visibility into would be her reminders portlet. So she can find bills that she needs to approve, bills to pay, invoices overdue, right? These are just some of the many searches that we have out of the box for you to leverage that directly relates to Ruby's role. Because all of these items here are based off of safe searches or essentially queries into the system, they're completely configurable. An example I always like to give is if we have a customer that has a balance of $50,000 or greater than $50,000 and over 30 days late, we want to be notified of that. So we can create a search, plug that into our reminders portlet, and have it notify us in real time whenever the system come across those certain criterias. Okay, but essentially, if we want to simplify it, this is Ruby's virtual to-do list to help her avoid any bottlenecks. Coming over to the navigation shortcut, here we have all things that controller will want to see, from having access to her different segments, her classes, location, currencies, department, or chart of accounts, master data like items, vendors, records, customer records. We can view our transactions for entries and budgets and bank recs, and even one-click access to our reports, our trial balances, registers, and even balance sheet. One of my all-time favorite features is the subsidiary navigator. So what we're looking at here is essentially a roll-up of all of our different entities to the headquarter level. Keep note of what happens if we select a specific subsidiary and what happens to the dashboard here. All of the metrics that we see from reminders to the KPI meters, as well as the KPI metrics below, will all be reflected to show transactions from the US1 location. If we reselect the headquarters, all of our subsidiaries then reconsolidated to roll up into the headquarter view. So even if we have subsidiaries in a different currency, we can do FX conversion on the back end for us, all in real time. We have our KPI portal here. So again, we have a list of many metrics to choose from sales, expenses to credit card balances. We can set them against our comparable periods, and then also view the delta here. We can also create custom metrics that we can track and put into this portlet here. And then I will come back shortly into these different hyperlinks to speak to what that means in just a second before we leave this page. So there are quite a few portlets on here, but I'll try my best to narrow down on the key ones that's relevant to today's demo. And that would be the financials overview. So we have a portlet here that speaks to all things financials related, right? We have our bank balance, our revenue, COGS, bottom line. You can set these against your comparable periods. And much like anything else on this page, it is completely configurable. We can create our own metrics to bring onto this scorecard. Everything that we see on this page is completely personalizable. So if we go to our personalized dropdown, this will then provide us with many options of the different type of portlets that we can include on our page. One of the first things would be our calendar, so we can track our events. Custom portlets for reports, custom searches for your saved searches that we create, or even a quick visual if we want to see a KPI meter. And it's easy as selecting the portlet we want to include. We can then drop down to narrow down on specific metrics. Everything on this page is drag and drop, so we can rearrange by what is important to us as the user. And as easily as we were able to add it, we can remove it just the same. So coming back to the KPI meter, now we want to deep dive into these hyperlinks here. So if we came across the expenses and we want to understand what are our drivers that's kind of having our expenses go up by 7% this period against our last, we can select this value here, and this will bring us down to the underlying report, which is the P&L itself. We can slice this dice report here now by our different periods, by our different quarter, years, or even set them against our custom date ranges. We can view by a consolidated view or narrow down to specific subsidiaries. Coming over to the columns, we can also include our different classes in case we want to track P&L by class, we want to track it by department or location. So if we want to track P&L side by side for our departments, we select department, do a quick refresh, and then our report P&L will reflect that. We have the ability to export in Excel, PDF, CSV, or even Word, print, email directly from this page, or one of my favorite features is schedule reports. So if P&L is something that's usually sent out on the 7th business day of the new month, we can utilize this feature to help us automatically send this report out on a recurring basis to individuals X, Y, and Z, or groups A, B, or C. So coming back to our initial inquiry, if we wanted to deep dive into what was driving our expenses to be so high, if we see a bucket that is we did not account for, this $10,000 here, we want to deep dive into it to understand what is driving that number. We simply select that line. This will show you all the transactions that sum up to it. In this case, there's just one. And if we want to understand that transaction itself, this will bring us down to the bill record with the actual transaction record. So then from this page, we understand that the $10,000 was for our vendor AAA Consulting for local ad distribution. And if there was a bill attached to this record, we can find that here. Much like everything else on this page, we can find different hyperlinks that we can deep dive into. Or if we want to utilize our global search bar or the Google of NetSuite, we can certainly do so by searching for our different records here. So if we input the value of 111 as an example, the system will then return back all relevant results. An example of that would be our sales orders, our purchase orders, payment records, because they all hold a value of 111. This is not limited to just numerical values. If we want to search for a customer record, for example, we can type in just a few letters, and then the system will turn back with the relevant results. So we see here that we have customers as well as contacts. If we wanted to narrow down on just customers, we could do a quick first few letters of the record we're looking for. Here we can find our customer record. So by simply selecting that result, the system will bring us down to the customer record itself. And this is what we refer to as the customer 360, because essentially all records or transactions that's tied back to this specific customer can be found here. On the top, you can find our primary information, their contact information, as well as classification. Coming down below, we have our financials subtab. There's quite a few subtabs here, but I'll try to narrow down just the key ones for today's purposes. So under financials, here's where we can set terms for our customers, dictate the primary currency, assign pricing levels, and even credit holds. So we have the option to also define what happens when that customer hits their credit limit. Does a user get notified but still are able to place orders for them, or are they completely cut off until balances are resolved? So coming down a little bit further, we have visibility into their balances as well as aging. So we could view current, and by your 30, 60, 90 or greater buckets, we can view any and all unbilled orders. And since NetSuite is PCI compliant, we can store customer credit cards for processing. Coming over to Customer 360, here the system will provide us a quick scorecard for the customer, understand all metrics, right, from the number of orders they placed, number of fulfillments, invoices, year-to-date sales, and so on. We can view open sales orders, invoices, top items sold, sales, as well as returns, and so on. As for a sales subtab, this is an area for us to view all transactions related to this customer. So we have the ability to view all record types or narrow down on specific ones that is relevant to us. And this will provide you with the record type, which is sales orders, invoice, item fulfillment, and so on, by your date, record number, amount, and even the status. And as mentioned before, since we have access to the hyperlinks, we can deep dive into each of these individual transactions. coming over to communications, we can track our activities that we have with this customer. So if we have any follow-ups, any events that we want to log, phone calls, we can track all of that here. You can track the statuses, who it's assigned to, and the different types. We can track all automated messages. So if we send out any orders, notify them of fulfillment, notify them of invoices, we can track that here by the type. And if there were files included, you would have visibility into the attachments as well. We can store records or files for this specific customer, input user notes as well. And for the final area that I'd like to touch on is our audit trail that we have available. So this allows users to understand who accessed this record, when they accessed it, what was changed from the old value to the new value, and it's not limited to just the customer record, but across all records within NetSuite. Thank you all so much for your time today. Hope you found the demo to be very insightful. With that, let me pass the ball back to you, Christian.
As we wind down today's webinar, we want to focus on specifically what's in it for you. How do you determine your return on investment to make sure this will work for your business? I'm sure you'll agree the capabilities and features we presented are certainly nice to have. It'd be great if your software did this easily and efficiently, but how can you tell for sure before you sign on the dotted line and invest your hard-earned time and money? Well, we're going to cover that right now. Before you start calculating return on investment, it's important to consider how software like Oracle NetSuite will impact your business. What improvements can you truly expect? Each organization is different, but generally speaking, we see large improvements in the pace of operations, increases in employee productivity, happier customers, and a more informed management. As a special offer for attendees of today's webinar, Kompete is going to provide a free consultation to help you understand your benefits and calculate your return on investment. More on that offer in a moment. The return on investment you can expect in the meantime is going to be unique to your company, but all companies are going to follow a very simple formula: the monetary value of the returns divided by the cost. The output of this simple equation will provide your anticipated return on investment. Of course, the input can be quite complicated, and we're going to cover that next. First, the costs. There are a few components to your total cost of ownership divided into one-time fees, generally for the implementation of the software, and then ongoing costs related to the management and licensing. One-time fees are exactly as described. These are the costs associated with getting up and running, including implementing, configuring, and customizing the software, migrating any necessary data, and then training your users to be successful. An implementation partner like Kompete can identify and estimate these fees for you prior to starting the work. After the one-time fee, you are looking at two types of ongoing fees: the software licensing, normally paid on a monthly or annual basis, and any management and maintenance, either performed internally or through a partner like Kompete. The ongoing costs should be considered on a 5-year basis for most businesses, but some can go up to 10 years depending upon your industry. First, the costs. There are a few components to your total cost of ownership divided into one-time fees, generally for the implementation of the software, and then ongoing costs related to the management and licensing. One-time fees are exactly as described. These are the costs associated with getting up and running. They include implementing, configuring, and customizing the software, migrating any necessary data, and then training your users. An implementation partner like Kompete can identify and estimate these fees for you prior to beginning the project. After the one-time fees, you're looking at two types of ongoing fees: the software licensing, which are normally paid monthly or annually, and then any management and maintenance that's either performed internally or through a partner like Kompete. These ongoing costs should be considered on a 5-year basis for most businesses, but some can go up to 10 years depending on your industry. Quantifying your returns can be a little more challenging. You need to put a number on some complex items that aren't easily quantifiable. Things like how much your operating expenses will be reduced or what efficiency in your supply chain you can expect. Others might be even more difficult, such as increased sales or repeat business, and reduction in turnover. At the same time, there are some tricks of the trade, as they say. First, you should meet with your department heads to get their candid feedback on any gaps or challenges in the processes. Understanding what your employees are spending their time on now and what is being done manually or through spreadsheets rather than in a dedicated system. These are the hours you can expect to reduce significantly. We do recommend being conservative, however. Don't put some huge figure on it and then underperform. Consider improvements in the 10 to 15% or perhaps the 20% range, and you'll be pleasantly surprised rather than disappointed. Now that you know the software will work for you and you've calculated your return on investment, it's time to start planning your implementation. First, you should identify what departments are involved and who is going to represent them through the implementation process. Second, you should consider what processes are going to be up first in your new system. Financials, of course, is a must, but otherwise, you can phase your rollout to avoid trying to tackle too much at once. Sales, service, and marketing can easily get added later after the core of your operations is complete, or if some aspects of your operations are already running smoothly, you might want to consider sales, service, and marketing first. Once you know what you want to do, collect your data, make sure you have a good handle on everything necessary for the first phase, then identify your top performance indicators to measure success and make improvements. Lastly, if you have any immediate challenges or something you know is a major issue, put that at the top of the list if possible. As we said earlier, easy might be a strong word, but it is applicable here when you consider how many companies and how many countries have successfully gone through this process and taken advantage of all the benefits of modern software. Oracle NetSuite has been deployed in over 199 countries and territories. It supports 24 languages, over 90 bank formats for payment, and over 100 countries' taxes and currencies. For additional peace of mind and accuracy, these currencies are updated daily. We're talking about thousands of companies like yours already on the software and proven successful. The system works. The only question now is, when are you planning to get started? Thanks again. We've discussed how your business is about more than your books, how modern software can manage and report on almost every aspect of your business, helping you grow and thrive. We've also demonstrated how Oracle NetSuite is a leader in business management software, offering significant advantages over basic accounting packages and legacy software. Finally, we've shown you how easy it is to get started. Now it's time for questions and answers. Please use the question box on the GoToWebinar interface towards the right. We want to thank you again for attending. Don't forget, there's a survey following the session and our special offer. We've got quite a few questions here. Not sure we're going to get a chance to get to all of them. But first one up, I think is a good question for Grace. This is from a company in Florida asking, how can our organization take advantage of the NetSuite Finance ERP without overloading the budget? And also, is the migration complex? Any sense of the time required?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Christian. So really, NetSuite can be implemented for all shapes and sizes of organizations. We have very small companies that are coming off of QuickBooks running NetSuite to large companies that are even public. So that being said, it's really a scalable solution. Kind of our approach to getting customers live on NetSuite is really, you can think of it kind of in a stairway. So really to get them up and running on kind of the core functionality they need to run their business, typically, back-end accounting, front-end sales and marketing. And then definitely as your organization evolves and grows with NetSuite, we can continue to kind of meet you with product functionality where you're at. when we think about kind of the time it typically takes to implement NetSuite, we're typically getting most customers live in around 90 days or less. So definitely, much shorter than industry average.
Great, thank you. That's very helpful. If anyone has specific questions about that they'd like to take offline, we'd certainly be happy to discuss it with you a bit further in a little more detail about your specific needs. Next question came in, good one. I know the answer, it's pretty straightforward. This is from a company in Illinois, but I'm going to hand it over to Danny. Can you use this software on any device? Danny, I think you may be on mute. Did we lose your audio? Okay, I can certainly handle that one while Danny's sorting out his audio issues. Apologies for that. Short answer is yes. The software runs through a web browser. It's fully responsive. It'll work on a mobile device, and there's also a mobile app. Great. Danny, you back?
I think so. Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Perfect. I'm going to have another question for you in a minute. I hope I handled that one okay.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Okay, great. Next question is from a company in California. This one I think I can handle. They ask, what are the main differences between basic accounting software like QuickBooks and NetSuite advanced software? We covered a lot of that during this session, but I think when you look at it from your business perspective, you want to think that NetSuite goes much deeper. QuickBooks, no disrespect to the software, it's designed to handle basic financial statements, basic invoices, basic accounts payable, basic accounts receivable. That's all it does. NetSuite is designed to manage and report on your business. This leads to two things. Number one, a holistic view of your business where your sales, your customer relationships, your inventory, your orders, and other items are all in one system. It also gives you the ability to manage these processes and perform functions within the system. So for example, if you're in retail, e-commerce, B2B or B2C, NetSuite offers a suite commerce solution that will enable you to take orders online, offline, manage inventory, and process every aspect of the delivery process. QuickBooks, quite simply, is not going to do that. Great. Next question comes in from a company in Texas. Danny, I'm going to hand this one over to you. How does NetSuite handle corporate governance, enterprise risk management, and corporate compliance?
Yeah, so we do hear that all the time when it comes to corporate governance and compliance, right? NetSuite provides all the tools that helps business provide right access, visibility, just to name a few, to even define those segregation duties and strengthen operational processes. And these tools are all part of the core platform, and it's second to none. When we talk about security, it was already mentioned in the demo, but in addition to the strong encryption, we also offer multi-factor authentication, around the clock monitoring, and this is all managed by the NetSuite team at no cost to our customers.
And that's excellent, thank you. I do have one more question that came in. I'm going to direct this at you, but Grace, feel free to weigh in as well. Someone asked how procurement is handled amongst vendors and suppliers. Is it the same process that's used internally? Can you talk a little bit about how NetSuite handles relationships with suppliers and partners? Danny, I think if you can weigh in first, then maybe Grace can weigh in.
Sorry, cut out a little bit of my end. Could you repeat that one more time?
So, the question was how NetSuite handles relationships with vendors and suppliers, and whether or not procurement processes and those other items are functioning, working in the same way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all part of the suite. So when we talk about CRM, relationship management, right? We have ways for you to track vendors, track customers, track the performances too, and it's all tied back to every other process within that suite. So we talk about order management, talk about procurement, all those metrics, those transactions that take place between those different entities, they're all coming together in the form of a single source of truth to help you gain visibility to all those different transactions. And I'm probably just beating this over the head a million times, but again, it's all part of the core platform on the same suite.
Great. And one more question just came in as well. Does NetSuite have any customers in the marine industry? I think, Grace, that's probably a good one for you.
I mean, I would have to get a better sense of what specifically they mean by the marine industry, but I'm going to assume probably container and shipping space.
I think that's a good assumption. And the person that asked this question, feel free to contact us afterwards with a little more detail. But Grace, if you want to answer that assumption.
So just to give you a sense, we've got 26,000 customers worldwide, and pretty much at least one customer in every single North America Industry Classics code. So really customers across all industries. I probably would want to know a little bit better about what type of organization you're looking for, and then I'd be happy to see if we have, a case study you can send over. It's just hard to, pull a customer off the top of my head with such a vast industry.
I appreciate that. I think that was a good answer. And again, feel free to ask us offline, and we'd be happy to provide more information. Okay, looks like that is it for questions right now. So I just wanted to close by repeating the special offer here. At Kompete, we certainly understand that investing in next generation software or a true enterprise ERP can be a daunting process for most companies. And we really want to help by making it easier for you and your organization by offering a no cost, no obligation consultation and strategy session to help ensure that Oracle NetSuite is really the right fit for your business. You can see that the services we're going to provide under this no obligation consultation, understanding your needs, coming up with an assessment, and making a recommendation. We also want to make it easy for you to take advantage of this offer. Just complete the survey at the end and check the appropriate box, or feel free to write us afterwards. We're certainly here to help, and we're looking forward to meeting with each and every one of you. In the meantime, we want to thank you for attending. We hope you learned a lot and really look forward to seeing you again in person and potentially on another webinar soon. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Danny. Thanks to the Kompete and the Oracle teams for organizing this webinar. Everyone have a great afternoon.